I remember some of the stories he told me during the late 1980s about the activities of the then regime and the then government. He was well known at that time for being with the boycott, which was begun in December 1981 under martial law. And for people outside Poland who don't know that era, it maybe needs some explanation. So there was a very important boycott which was observed by all performing artists, especially in the theatre, where they wouldn't perform for the state media. They wouldn't perform on television, they wouldn't perform for the radio, any of the official organs of the state. In Lutosławski's case, he observed the boycott by refusing to conduct in Poland. He didn't conduct at Warszawskie Jesień, at the Warsaw Autumn Festival, for many years. And that was one of his protests. He wouldn't attend any official functions. If a minister wanted to see him, he would invite them to his house. He would never go to the function. He would never go to the Teatr Wielki. He wouldn't go to the concert hall in the company of ministers. He was very careful about those things, and he was very principled. So I remember him during that period as a man of great moral integrity. And those things, when I remember them now, are just as important to me as the music itself. Because there is an example for me there, a very inspiring example of a man who had many opportunities to betray that integrity, many temptations, and he didn't. He resisted them all. I remember one case when I was in his house and he took a telephone call from a high-ranking minister offering to give him his family home, Drozdowo, the family estate, as a kind of bribe, as a kind of inducement, if he would collaborate with the regime. They wanted him to conduct, they wanted him to attend official functions, and they wanted to find some way of persuading him. They tried several ways, and this was one. I remember his reaction after that phone call. He came, and he was a bit shocked, but he was also amused, and he was quite jokey about it with me. He said, "You know, if they wanted to bribe me, they didn't do it very well, because my home doesn't exist anyway, and they don't seem to know that, because there were two houses at Drozdowo, and they offered me the wrong one."
Because the right one has not been existing.
That's right. The right one, his own family home, was destroyed by the Russians during the war, and in 1940. So his actual home didn't exist anyway, but they didn't seem to realize that. Now that was quite a big gesture for them to make. It was obviously important to them. They wanted him to be seen in public. They wanted to be parading their great figures. He would not do it. I remember they also offered him some important prizes, honors, and things during that period. He said no in every case. So he was receiving prizes and honors all over the world during those years, and he always said no to the ones in Poland. With some exceptions, there was the Solidarity Award in 1984, and that had a very obvious symbolism. And then there was the award of the Order of the White Eagle just before he died, which was awarded by Lech Wałęsa. Those were the Polish ones that he accepted. There were many that he rejected. So I remember those examples of his integrity, and I treasure those memories. They're very inspiring ones.